Hi everyone, this is Alert Day Trading. The purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, notice any mistakes I'm making, see if there's any corrections I could be making, talk about some ideas I have about the markets, and if you can learn from any of that, that is definitely a positive. So yesterday, actually before I talk about the trades I took today, I just wanted to mention yesterday I had probably my worst trading day so far. And basically, I had taken a few trades and the day was going okay. And then I just figured, let's see what happens if I do this. And this, what I did, had nothing to do with my trade plan. I threw every rule I made for myself out the window. And I just basically flipped a coin, and twice I did this, and both times I ended up taking losses. Um, and if you think of all the most important rules when it comes to day trading, I pretty much broke all of them. The first being not sticking to the plan, entering a trade that's not part of your entry criteria or my entry criteria, entering, not having profit targets, stop loss. Actually, I did have stop loss targets. I didn't have profit targets. I also lowered my stop loss. So I went in with much larger size than my plan allows. So it was very frustrating for me. In a way, I'm actually happy that it happened, not because I took losses, but because of the lesson I learned. I never want to feel that feeling again of, knowing exactly what not to do, and then or even knowing exactly what to do and then not doing it. So I know how to enter trades. I know how to exit trades. I know how to figure out what my risk is. And in those two trades, I did none of that. And that's what's frustrating because I know better. So I'm pretty much committing to not doing that again. So that is a little note on trading discipline. If you can learn from my experience on that, that is definitely a positive. Something that I'm really focused on is thinking in probabilities. So I try to look at each trade as part of a sample size. So instead of putting so much pressure on one trade to work out, I'll say, okay, let's look at the last 20 trades doing the exact same thing, and what is the result? Did I end up with more money than when I started at the beginning of the 20 trades? So that's how I like to trade. And so I basically threw that out the window for these two trades. And quick note, the other reason why I'm happy about taking those two losses is because those two mistakes I made, even though there were multiple mistakes, or those two trades I took with multiple mistakes within those trades, I've done that before. And when I've done it, I actually ended up making money. So when that happened, it reinforced that breaking my rules can be profitable. And that's, not good. That is reinforcing a bad behavior, bad trading behavior, because it's making me think, oh, I can break my rules and still be profitable. But that's not a good long-term plan. And yesterday it proved to be true. I figured, it's been profitable before. Let me try this, and then it worked out against me. And I was like, well, like I said, I've been profitable before. I've made back what I've lost. Let's do it again. And then I ended up doubling my mistakes and doubling my losses. So, um, so having the experience yesterday is reinforcing that yes, doing this behavior can be profitable, but it's not worth the risk when it ends up being a loss. So I'm okay missing out on the potential profits in order to stay away from the large loss that I'm trying to avoid. And large loss compared to what I'm normally trading with. So it's not like I ruined my account or anything. But with the size that I hope to be using in the future, I definitely don't want to be making those mistakes. So I'm happy to have made that mistake now rather than later on. So, all right, so let's just look over the trades I took today. And the first trade was PLUG, and PLUG is a stock I've been, trading multiple times, many times. If you look at let's take a look at the yearly chart. You can see it's been on an uptrend, even more than that. Let's go 3 years back, and you can just see it's just constantly moving higher and higher. So definitely like trading this stock. And so today I was using the 1 minute chart on my first entry, and my entry was 46.22. So here's the first red line. I waited for the break above that, and then I waited for a pullback, and then here was my entry. I was looking for continuation, but we ended up with a lower high, and then a break below the EMA, and then obviously a big drop below the previous highs. This red line is this new high. So I'm waiting for a break above that. Looks like we're almost getting there, but I'm pretty much done for the day. So regardless, I'm not going to enter it. I'll wait another day. So that was a small loss. I'm okay with that. I followed my plan. I'm happy with my trade execution. Obviously it turned around, and probably could have taken another entry on a different time frame, but I was focused on another stock. So then I took 3 more trades today, and they all were on the same ticker, DDD. And so my first trade was at $15, so the break above 15. So that is going to be with the 1 minute time frame, and here it is. So this red line is the line I was waiting. This is when I got alerted when the stock broke above this red line. Then I waited for a pullback, and then as we broke above $15 again, that's my first entry. And this ended up being a profit. Wait, actually, this one I ended up taking a loss. Okay, so this was a mistake I made today. So this is where I entered the trade right here, and then I got stopped out. I had a pretty tight stop loss. So I'm okay with that. It was pretty tight. Like I could have been 1 cent higher on my entry and not even have entered the trade. So this was kind of it could have gone either way. But the one mistake I did make, other than, I don't think entering the trade was a mistake. But the mistake I did was I hit the order button twice. So I ended up going in with twice as much size as I would have hoped. So in that case, I ended up losing twice as much. So kind of, instead of taking one loss, it turned into two. Small mistake. I'm okay with the amount that I'm risking, but obviously I would have hoped that not to happen. So I'm really only counting it as one trade. It's just kind of, I have to remake that extra loss I took. So it's one loss here in my book. Okay, and then I took two more entries on this, and the next entry was with the 3-minute time frame. So if I take a loss on the 1 minute, I'm not really keen on entering again with the same time frame. So I try not to enter the same time frame more than once if I take a loss. Even if I take a winner, I try to stay away from multiple entries on the same time frame. So I tried again with the 3-minute. So let's see. Here we are. And as you can see, it's a little cleaner. And I entered right again here. I gave it another try. And as you can see, the stock has not turned around. So I'm actually still in the trade. So I entered at 15.12 and currently we are at 18.40. So what's really cool is I risked 12, so about 77. So 35 cents. I risked 35 cents. And currently I'm up over $3 per share. So that's a risk to reward of 1 to 10. That's really good for my trade plan. I really try to get 1 to 1 at the minimum. So I take profits every risk amount. But once I get about 2 profit targets, then I just use a trailing stop loss. So I take profits at the first profit target. So 35 cents above 15.12 is 15.47. So I take profits there. 35 cents above that is 15.92. I took profits there. And then what I do is I use a trailing stop with 1R, so about 35 cents below that, and then also 2R. So I have 2 trailing stops. So I take half at the first profit, take half at the second profit, and then I do a half trailing stop at 1R and then half trailing stop at 2R. Because I'm usually, when I get to 2 profit targets, I'm pretty confident that the stock will continue. And to take profits at 3R, 4R, 5R, well, now you're kind of limiting your potential for a really nice trade. So instead of just having to worry about that, I just use the trailing stop. And if it does turn against me, then I've already taken profits. So my stuff, I'll take more profits at the first profit target and then at break even. So I'm guaranteeing that the trade is profitable. I'm just trying to see how profitable it'll get. And we're already up to 10 risk amounts here. So I think my first trailing stop loss, see, it was at 35 cents. So 18.08 down to 17.36 or 5. That's more than 35 cents. So I did get stopped out there. And I'm pretty sure I'm still in the trade with the last profit target, with the last trailing stop loss. So the last entry I took was 16.22 on the 5-minute. So I did enter one more, and that was right here. So as we broke above $16, Waited for that red candle right there, and then as it pushed higher, I entered the trade, and we still haven't turned back. So in this case, I risked about 35 cents again. It ended up being about the same risk amount, and $2.50. So 250 divided by 35 cents. Just at the top of my head, that's about risk to reward of 1 to 6. So we just rounded to 40 cents, and then 250 divided by 40 is about 6. So it's better than 6, really. So almost about 7, 1 to 7. All right, well, that is it for today. I'm done for the day. I'm just going to leave my trailing stop loss. It's possible my second one might have gotten triggered as well. So if we, let's see, 1809 was the high here. And then the low was, I might have gotten stopped out by like 5 cents on my second trailing stop. So I think I'm out of the trade completely. So I'm a little bummed about that, but I'm still really happy with the trade in general. But, you know, the only thing I could have done is increase the trailing stop as the stock goes for me. But anyway, this is a kind of a bearish engulfing candle. So this could be kind of a sign that the trend is nearing its end. But obviously we're still trending up with less volume. So if it continues to go higher, that's obviously great. But so that's kind of why I'm confident with my trailing stop losses, because if it both triggers, that's usually a sign that I should probably exit the trade anyway. But the other thing I could do instead is try to raise it with the EMA. But still, that is, part of my trade plan. I followed my plan, and I'm happy with my trading today and working my way out of those mistakes from yesterday. So just to remind you, the purpose of the videos I make is to journal my trades, notice any mistakes I'm making, focus on corrections I could be making, talk about some ideas about the markets, and if you can learn from any of that, that is definitely a positive. So good luck, and until next time.